Welcome to the Deep Dive. Okay, today we're looking at someone you probably recognize, Michael Symon. From TV, right?
Mm-hmm. Definitely a familiar face.
But the material you shared, wow, it goes so much deeper than just, celebrity chef stuff.
Absolutely. It paints a really interesting picture.
Yeah, so this deep dive, it's really about decoding these, quiet strategies behind his success. How he built this culinary empire that's lasted.
And built it on things like resilience, humility. Not shortcuts. It's about sticking to a vision.
Exactly. We're tracing how he went from a tiny Cleveland kitchen to, well, the sources estimate a $6 million net worth by now, July 2025.
And that phrase the sources use really sticks out. Painting faith through trials. It wasn't easy.
For sure. And it's not just about the food. We found some, honestly, surprising stuff about his whole approach to money, career, habits, life, really. It kind of goes against the usual grain. So this one quote from the material really grabbed me right away. He started in a tiny kitchen in Cleveland. No spotlight, no shortcuts. Yet today, Michael Symon stands tall with $6 million to his name, a legacy built not on noise, but on quiet faith through every storm.
That really sets the stage, doesn't it? It's not your standard rags to riches story at all.
Wow.
What you see is this thread of resilience, this humility, and honestly, a really bold choice to stay grounded in Cleveland, Even as he got bigger, it's sort of key to understanding him.
Okay, let's unpack his financial mindset first, because it's different.
It really is.
When Symon started out,
Right.
early 90s, fresh from culinary school, he wasn't chasing the big bucks. He was chasing flavor.
Right.
He actually chose Cleveland over places like Manhattan or LA. Went back home.
Took the, let's say, less glamorous path initially.
Totally. Started in a modest place, scrubbing pans, chopping onions, paying his dues.
And that decision, going back, it led to opening Lola in 97 with his wife, Liz. And get this, they used pretty much just their own savings. No big investors.
That takes guts.
It does. And the goal wasn't hitting it big financially. It was, and I love this phrase from the sources, to serve something honest.
Honest food. And no truffle foam or tweezers, apparently.
Exactly. Just bold Midwest cooking, unapologetic.
And it worked. Big time. By 2000, Gourmet magazine puts Lola on their list of America's best restaurants.
Which was huge for Cleveland's food scene back then. Really put it on the map.
Yeah. And Symon had this quote, something like, "When you cook simply with great product and love, people feel that. It becomes more than food." That feels like his whole philosophy in a nutshell.
It absolutely connects to his financial view. Don't chase the money, chase getting really good at what you do, chase mastery, and the money will, follow.
And he lived that, right?
Right.
He kept getting offers to franchise Lola all over the country as he got famous.
And he kept saying no. Instead, he put the profits back into the restaurant's better quality, building up his staff culture, sustainable ingredients, that kind of thing.
Yet, even doing that, by July 2025, his net worth is estimated at $6 million.
Which is pretty remarkable.
And the sources emphasize he earned it without selling out his taste or values, specifically avoiding the easy stuff.
Right. No cheap brand deals, ghost kitchens, fast casual spin-offs, none of that quick buck stuff.
So it seems like, for him, money is less the goal and more like proof.
Exactly. Like a receipt, as the sources say. Proof you've honored your craft deeply for a long time. So the takeaway there maybe is that real wealth, lasting value, it's built quietly, takes time, like developing flavor, slowly, no shortcuts.
Okay, so shifting from money to his actual career strategy, it seems like Symon's rise wasn't about just getting bigger and bigger. It was about direction.
That's a good way to put it. Direction, not domination.
After Lola blew up, he could have just gone national everywhere.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
No, he doubled down on what made him unique, right? That regional loyalty, sticking to his kind of flavor and being willing to adapt.
You see that in his other places, Lolita, B-Spot, Mabel's BBQ.
Each one aimed at a slightly different crowd, but they all felt like him. Still connected to Cleveland.
And what's interesting is this test and tune idea. He wasn't afraid to close places down.
Right. Even in big markets like Vegas or New York. If it wasn't working or didn't feel right for his, culinary voice, he'd shut it down.
And the sources say he did it without ego. Just strategic decisions.
Which is pretty rare in that world, let's be honest. Ego can be huge.
For sure. He did eventually move into higher volume places with Bar Symon, right? Airports, arenas, around 2017.
He did, but even then, it wasn't just slapping his name on something. He made sure he could control the ingredients, the menu integrity. It was calculated.
So compared to how a lot of restaurant groups expand,
He didn't scale fast, he scaled right. He wasn't trying to conquer markets, he was trying to serve people well.
And he pruned his businesses like you prune a plant.
Exactly. Each closure wasn't a failure, it was a lesson. Each pivot, a refinement. So what you end up with isn't some sprawling, fragile empire. It's more like an ecosystem.
An ecosystem. I like that. Cookbooks, restaurants, media, mentoring. It all fits together. So the lesson from his career path seems to be, success isn't just about making noise. It's knowing when to act, when to wait, and, crucially, when to maybe start over.
Well said. It's about intention.
Okay, now let's get into his habits, the sort of hidden stuff, because this is where you often see the real discipline, right?
Definitely. And it starts somewhere maybe unexpected, his garden.
His garden.
Yeah. Material says every morning he walks barefoot through the soil behind his Cleveland home, inspecting tomato vines, picking basil.
Barefoot.
Barefoot.
Yeah.
And apparently one summer he harvested like over 100 heirloom tomatoes. Not for selling, not for show, just for the connection to it.
Wow, that paints a picture.
It really does. It's this ritual of respect, as the sources call it. A big contrast to the kind of hectic lives you imagine for celebrity chefs.
And you see that quiet focus in his restaurants, too.
Apparently, yeah. Staff describe him as present but invisible. Like he's there, checking every station, noticing everything, but not barking orders. Just observing, ensuring quality.
A quiet dedication again. And it shows up in his focus on fundamentals, too, right?
Totally. While others chase trends, he's sharpening his own knives, constantly tweaking his recipes, tasting every single sauce himself.
He had that amazing quote, "Most people want to master 100 things once. I'd rather master one thing 100 times."
Boom. That's it, isn't it? Deep mastery over broad, shallow accomplishment.
And this extends to his personal life. The sources mention his health.
Yeah, he's been open about managing chronic conditions, lupus and rheumatoid arthritis, revealed back in 2019. So consistent workouts, simple home cooking, these aren't just lifestyle choices, they're necessary for him.
So through all the pain, the fatigue, the pressure, he just kept showing up.
Quietly, reliably, obsessively, that's the word the sources use.
So the insight here is pretty powerful. Long-term success, real mastery.
Right.
It's not built in big, flashy moments.
No, it's in the quiet, repetitive stuff. The garden, the prep table, tasting that sauce for the 100th time.
The secret isn't some magic trick. It's just discipline.
Exactly. Consistent, quiet discipline.
Which brings us nicely to his overall life philosophy, his big decisions. Like the huge one, why stay in Cleveland? After the James Beard Award, winning Iron Chef, getting network TV gigs, most people would bolt for New York or LA.
You'd think so. But his reasoning was always pretty simple. Why would I leave the people and food I love? For him, Cleveland wasn't just a starting point. It was and is his anchor. He described it as affordable, loyal, brutally honest.
Brutally honest. So.
Yeah. Everything, he thought, a chef needs to stay real. While others were doing fusion this and spectacle that, he focused on depth, getting the most out of simple ingredients, like pork shoulder, reimagining BBQ authentically.
And his marriage seems to reflect that same groundedness. He and Liz, his wife.
Absolutely. Met in a restaurant, started their first business together, still partners in crime, creatively and financially.
And zero tabloid drama, no scandals. It's kind of remarkable in the celebrity world.
It speaks volumes about that shared vision, that mutual respect. It's quiet strength again.
And his media choices were interesting, too. Very deliberate.
Very. Saying no to the gimmicky stuff, saying yes to Iron Chef because it was about skill, pure cooking.
And Shuhu, he did that for years, 2011 to 2018.
Right, because it allowed for, as the sources say, long-form, genuine food conversation. It wasn't just sound bites.
And when it ended, he didn't, desperately try to find another show.
Nope. He just went back to cooking, back to his kitchens, his restaurants.
It might look passive from the outside, maybe even boring to some.
But it wasn't passive at all. It was, as the sources stress, precise, strategic, rooted in self-awareness. He knew who he was and what mattered to him.
So his core belief seems to be, you don't have to be everywhere to be significant.
You just have to go deep where you are. Find your meaning right there.
Okay, let's talk about his influence and his resilience, because that's a huge part of the story. Remember 2007, Iron Chef America?
Oh, yeah. Big moment.
He wasn't the loudest chef in Kitchen Stadium, no screaming, no theatrics.
Yeah.
But he just kept winning dishes with precision, with warmth, with that honesty we talked about.
And that win, it didn't just bring fame, it brought trust. People felt they could rely on him, on his food.
Then came the Chew, co-hosting from 2011, winning an Emmy in 2015. Even on national TV, he felt authentic somehow.
He really did manage to keep it real, didn't he? But then came something really tough.
The health issues.
Right. In 2019, he shared his long battle with lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. The sources call it a quiet storm he'd been weathering.
Dealing with joint pain, fatigue, the emotional toll. That's immense.
Absolutely. But his response wasn't to hide away. It was through food.
Which led to the cookbook, Fix It With Food, also in 2019.
Which blended medical insights with, culinary compassion. The whole idea was that food can do more than fill you up. It can actually help heal you.
And that message clearly hit home. It became a national bestseller.
It really resonated. And what's fascinating is how sharing that struggle didn't weaken his brand or his image. If anything, it deepened it.
How so?
It showed the person behind the chef coat, someone facing real challenges and turning that diagnosis into a way to connect with others, not isolate himself.
So maybe his biggest influence wasn't just recipes or restaurants.
Maybe it was showing how you can turn personal struggle into shared strength, turning pain into purpose, and kind of giving other people permission to acknowledge their own struggles, too.
That's powerful. Okay, lastly, let's look at his long game. His strategy for surviving and even thriving in the restaurant business, which is just brutal.
Notoriously tough, yeah.
He's been through major downturns, like the 2008 financial crisis. How did he handle that?
While others were panicking, he apparently just leaned in. Adapted menus, cut costs smartly, but crucially, never compromised on the quality of the ingredients.
Still sticking to his principles.
Exactly. And he actually launched B-Spot Burgers during the downturn, focused on something affordable, relatable. Smart move.
Then, fast forward to 2020, the pandemic hits the industry like a tidal wave.
And here's where his previous approach paid off. Because he was, as the sources say, already grounded in operational restraint, he was maybe better prepared than some.
So what did he do?
He pivoted. Did virtual cooking demos, talked openly about mental health struggles during lockdown, used social media to bring people into his home kitchen.
More than just business, it sounds like connection again.
Definitely felt like a gesture of connection, offering comfort through food, both literally and, emotionally.
And throughout all this, he kept thinking long term.
Yeah, restructuring his portfolio, closing places that aren't working, but doubling down in his core markets like Cleveland and Detroit where loyalty was high, expanding Mabel's BBQ, but slowly, deliberately.
Always with intention.
Always. And maybe the most forward-thinking move was investing deeply in wellness, not just his own, with diet and physical therapy.
Well, for his staff, too.
Yes. Health benefits, focusing on kitchen ergonomics. He recognized that burnout isn't just a personal issue, it's a business liability. Taking care of his people was part of the long game.
So his whole resilience strategy kind of comes down to this quiet principle: play like you'll be here in 30 years, not just next quarter.
That's it, exactly. You connect all those choices, no viral stunts, no tech gimmicks, just consistent, smart decisions that build on each other, like compound interest, but for trust, skill, sustainability.
And that's why he's still standing strong in 2025.
That's why he still stands.
So wrapping this up, Michael Symon's story, it's not the flashy rags to riches thing. No big scandals, no billion-dollar buyouts dominating headlines.
And that's precisely the point, isn't it? That's why it matters.
Yeah. In a world that seems obsessed with getting bigger, louder, faster.
Symon shows that depth, clarity, and maybe even stillness, they can win too. He didn't chase trends. He didn't run from the hard stuff. He stayed. He endured. He listened.
Listened to his body, his community, his roots.
Exactly. Those roots under his feet.
So the big picture legacy, it's more than the $6 million net worth, isn't it?
Much more. It's about building a life where your work actually feels like your purpose, where success feels like peace.
He kind of reminds you that real wealth isn't about going viral online. It's about being valuable, not loud. Just lasting.
And maybe, just maybe, the legacies that truly endure aren't the ones shouted from the rooftops. Maybe they're the ones whispered into kitchens night after night.
It feels like Michael Symon's legacy. Not just a chef, a craftsman, a quiet force.
And living proof you can indeed paint faith even through trials.
So if listening to this deep dive sparked something for you, maybe a thought about your own path, a reminder that the quiet way you do things has power. Don't just let that feeling go.
Yeah, you don't have to be the loudest voice in the room to matter. You don't need to chase all the noise to build something that lasts. Maybe, like Symon, your strength is right there in the steady, the simple, the choices you make that feel deeply rooted.
Because maybe that's where real wealth, real value actually begins.
Yeah.
And that's how legacies get made.
Quietly. faithfully, every single day.